Hello and welcome to another video of mine. In today's video, I'm going to be talking about using the Nova LUT in Cyberpunk 2077. Now, Cyberpunk 2077 is already a visual feast brimming with neon lights and a distinct color palette. However, some players might find the vanilla visuals lacking in certain aspects. Enter the Nova LUT, a popular graphics mod that aims to enhance the game's aesthetics and give it a very cinematic, very real world like feel. So, this video is all about the Nova LUT, and we're gonna delve into the impact of this LUT on visuals, performance, and overall gameplay experience in our video today. With that said, let's get started, folks. Now, before we move any further in this video, I just wanted to share my list of the mods that I'm currently using in Cyberpunk 2077. So if you do want to pause this video and take a good look at all the mods that I am running, then this is your chance to just pause and do exactly that. Just make a note of all the mods that you see on screen. Now, the mod that I am particularly going to be talking about in today's video is called the Ultimate Nova LUT Graphics 1.0. Now, there are various versions of Nova LUT, but in today's video, I'm just going to be talking about the Ultimate Nova LUT Graphics. I might make a video about the other Nova LUTs as well, especially the pure one, because I do want to try that out and share my experience of using that as well. So maybe somewhere down the line, I can do that as well. But for now, just take a good look at it. Now, you would have dependencies when it comes to making this mod work. So when you are trying to download this from Nexus Mods, it will give you a list of all the dependencies that you have. And make sure you download all those dependencies as well. And the description of how to go about installing the mod is also pretty straightforward. So I don't think you're going to have any trouble. But in case you do, you can just come back to me in the comment section and we can have a quick chat about it. Now, let's get back to my experience about using this mod and the overall visual aesthetics of the game, how it actually impacts it. So let's get into that now. The Nova LUT mod utilizes Reshade, so you're obviously going to be needing Reshade as well. Now, Reshade is nothing but a powerful post-processing tool to implement additional effects on top of the LUT's color adjustments. Now, these include improved lighting, so effects like ambient occlusion and global illumination can enhance depth perception and create more realistic lighting scenarios. Now, there's also an impact on the sharpening and clarity because these effects can make the visuals appear crisper and less blurry, especially at a distance. There's going to be color correction as well. Beyond the LUT's adjustments, users can further fine-tune colors, saturation, and contrast to their exact preferences. There's also an option of bloom and film grain, and these effects can add a more cinematic or stylized look depending on player choice. I would also like to put in a gentle warning here because there is definitely an impact on performance. The Nova LUT itself is lightweight, but Reshade can actually be resource intensive. The specific performance, it depends on the combination of effects enabled and the player's hardware as well. Whether you have path tracing on or not, whether you are playing this with ray tracing or not. So ultimately, what I have to say is this. Users with high-end PCs are more likely to handle the increased load without significant frame rate drops. But if you're using a mid-tier machine like the one that I am using in this video, I'm using a 4070 Super GPU, which is considered to be a mid-tier graphic card now. And with that, I have to turn on DLSS, keep it on performance mode. I have to turn my resolution down to 1440p. I'll just show these settings later on in the video towards the end so that you get a feel of what I am on in terms of the settings. But yes, there's definitely a performance impact, and well, it goes without saying that you may need to dial your resolution down and your settings down if you are on a mid-tier machine or on a low-end PC. So just have to keep that in mind. I do have to agree that this game is a completely different beast with path tracing turned on because the performance dip is phenomenal. I mean, you do need a good enough graphic card to be able to turn path tracing on and play this. Now, thankfully, on NVIDIA GPUs, you do have a lot of algorithmic help in the form of DLSS, and you also have frame generation. That really helps, and it kind of provides a cushion when it comes to the performance drain that this LUT or even path tracing may have in general. So with my 4070 Super, what I did was I kept the frame generation on, and I'm going to show you my settings in a bit, but I do want to point out that I am running this with DLSS turned on performance mode, and in 1440p with DLSS on performance, I'm getting well over 100 FPS, and this is more than a playable experience. This is in fact fantastic, and there's a huge difference when it comes to jumping from 1080p to 1440p, and not as much of a difference when you jump from 1440p to 4K, especially when you play this on a 4K television. Now, I have always mentioned that televisions have come a long way in the comment section where I interact with you lovely folks. I mean, no longer do you have a wide gap between monitors and televisions, in my personal opinion. The response times, they've improved, the input lag, they've improved in televisions, and plus you have higher frame rates on TVs, which even give you 144 Hertz now. So I was playing this, of course, on my television, and my television also supports VRR, and it supports 120 FPS. And in this case, my experience was really good, is what I would say. And what I love about the overall aesthetic improvement is the softness in the overall image quality. Now, if you take a good look at these neon lights, these neon signs, they look much softer, and that lends it more real world like look. It looks more realistic is what I'm trying to say. And even the skin tone, if you've played this game before without any graphical enhancements like the reshade that you are watching in this video, you may have noticed that the skin looked too shiny or plasticky in some case. But with path tracing on, I have to mention that skin tones look way better. I mean, just path tracing without any LUTs or reshade looks way better than what it would without path tracing. And with a reshade mod like this, it just takes it a step further. Now, with this mod, the lighting improves. I mean, it's not a gradual improvement. Lighting improves in a big way. Now, I'm also using the transparent glass mod and a little more shine on the car. So these mods are also at play at the same time. So when you take a look at these vehicles, they look absolutely bonkers. I mean, in the sense like, with path tracing on, the reflections that you have on the shiny metal surfaces of these vehicles, they are insane. I mean, that's what makes it look so much more real. Now that I've used this mod, it's very difficult to go back, because prior to this mod, it was like someone had cranked up the saturation on Night City itself, and with this mod, everything tones down a bit. But let me be very clear, it's just not about the color palette only. What this mod does is it tweaks the lighting. And I've always said this in all my videos, lighting implementation in games is extremely important, because with this mod now, you have added depth, and there's this different dimension to the environments as well. Shadows stretched further, highlighting the grime and grit of Night City's underbelly. Even the fog seemed to dance differently, swirling with a newfound ethereal beauty. Distant buildings and details like peeling paint on abandoned cars all become strikingly clear, and they add a whole new layer of immersion to exploration. Now, installing the mod is not exactly a walk in the park, but it's not very difficult as well. And there are many tutorials that you can find online. And downloading Reshade is also a pretty straightforward experience. And you can just press the home button and tweak your reshade settings there. Now, very quickly, I just wanted to focus on my settings here. As you can see, DLSS is set to super resolution, and my resolution is 1440p. I have DLSS ray reconstruction turned on, path tracing is on, ray tracing is on, and most of the settings that I have set is high. As you can clearly see, in some cases, it's even on ultra settings, like the fog settings, for instance. So these settings were kept on high. I wanted to see how far could my 4070 Super go. So I was curious to know if I did set the DLSS Super resolution to balanced instead of performance, what kind of a performance hit I would be taking. So with all these settings again kept on high or on ultra, path tracing turned on, ray tracing of course on, I wanted to change it to balance. So I'm just gonna change it here now, and you may have noticed that my FPS was over 100 FPS comfortably. But now, with DLSS Super Resolution turned to balanced, it's dropped below 100 FPS. So now I'm getting the high 80s or the 90s now. But with this, the image quality definitely improves a lot. So I think this is the sweet spot for me, where I kept the DLSS Super Resolution on balanced instead of performance. I mean, 90 FPS is a really good playing experience. With this, take a look at those reflections on the water because of the path tracing. And again, as I have mentioned before, lighting plays a crucial role. And with the Reshade mod, with the Ultimate Nova LUT mod, lighting is completely different from the base game. I mean, without any modifications, of course. But the colors may seem either overwhelming or underwhelming to a few people. It all depends on taste. What I can say here is that the beauty lies in the customization. And as all mods go, it may not be for everyone. But the good news is that there are a lot of customization options from the Reshade menu. So all you've got to do is just press that home button on your number pad and out comes the Reshade menu, and from there you can actually have a personalized Night City experience because the potential is vast because of all the options that you get to tweak thanks to the Reshade mod. Now, before I forget, I also want to quickly mention something about the Environment Textures Overhaul mod, the ETO mod. I just want to say that with my 4070 Super, when I tried to play around with the 4K textures, I ended up having my game crash on me more than a couple of times. In fact, every time it would crash on me. So if you're trying to use the ETO mod, which is the Environment Textures Overhaul mod, you're better off downloading the 2K version instead of the 4K version as far as the textures go. Because if you're using a 4070 Super like me, you may find difficulties in running the game. The game may just crash. But I had no such issues once I chose to go along with the 2K textures. So I thought I'll just put this out there as well so that if you're experiencing similar issues with your game crashing in on you, then you may want to keep that in mind, especially if you're using the ETO mod. Now, finally, concluding this video, my experience with the Ultimate Nova LUT Reshade mod has been absolutely great, as you can see. Now, even take a look at this car while I'm concluding this video. I mean, the lighting on this because of path tracing and the overall lighting change that comes because of the Nova LUT mod is absolutely outstanding. It's a mind-blowing experience is what I can say. Well, if you've liked this content, then please don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button and also that bell icon in case you want to get notified with all my latest videos. I do make videos on gameplay like this. I also have reviews of certain gaming related items on my channel. So kindly tune into my channel, hit that like, subscribe and that bell icon as well. And if you have friends and family members who are into gaming, do share this video with them because I get YouTube brownie points and it helps with the YouTube algorithm. But it's a wrap for this video. I'll see you lovely folks in my next video. Until that time, I'll say take care, stay safe, and may God bless you all.